Hey everyone, Ashveil is finally out, and I'm honestly so excited. I love his character design, dig his skill animations, but there is an elephant in the room I've gotta address. He's designed as a follow-up attack sub-DPS, more on that in a minute, and if you didn't know, your boy has a pretty sporadic pattern when it comes to pulling characters. This means I don't have your traditional follow-up carries like Fei Xiao, and I also never built my free doctor ratio I got like 2 years ago. 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. But anyways, sometimes it's nice to step off the optimized path and just vibe a little. So for this video, the goal is to pull Ashveil, explain how he works, spend about 2,000 Trailblaze power to hopefully get a solid build together, and ultimately try him out with my hodgepodge of characters to see how he feels outside of his usual team comps. Also, word on the street is he's also a solid main DPS, so I'll give that a try as well. Last disclaimer, I'm not saying you should brick your account by pulling all the time, but if you're in a comfortable spot clearing content, sometimes it is nice to just remind yourself that you're playing a game, and it's okay to just pull for a character you like, even if they're not particularly meta. Anyways, stepping off the soapbox and into the casino, I'm starting off with 130 pulls. Zero pity, no guarantee. Now, what you need to know about me is that I'm probably one of the luckiest gacha gamers out there. I'm serious, I'm talking double-digit on-banner multi-pulls, winning 50-50s. Needless to say, I hit these odds easy. Alright, a few more pulls than I wanted, but everyone get ready to see my new follow-up attack main carry. And you know what? I didn't lie. Okay. 120 pulls total for Ashveil, but I also got E6 Clara, which I low-key actually wanted for this video, so that was actually perfect. And now that I finally got him, it's time to do some relic funds to see if I can get some kind of build going today. The goal is to use about 2,000 Trailblaze power to farm for a solid 4-piece Ashblazing Grand Duke set and a little bit for the new City of Converging Stars planner set. So while the auto battle plays, let me quickly explain what Ashveil does. Keep in mind this isn't really a guide per se, but more of a TLDR. So first off, in terms of support, Ashveil provides an unconditional 40% defense reduction to all enemies, 40% crit damage to all allies, and an additional 80% crit damage to all ally follow-up attacks. So you see why I say he's technically a sub DPS, right? Then for Ashveil himself, he has 3 mechanics to keep in mind: bait, charges, and gluttony. You can think of bait like a mark for Ashveil. You want your team to hit whoever is marked by it, and you can change the target of bait by using Ashveil's skill or ultimate. Now the last 2 mechanics that he has, charges and gluttony, go hand in hand. At the start of battle, assuming you've activated his technique, Ashveil will start off with 3 charges, indicated here. When Ashveil has a charge and an ally attacks his baited target, Ashveil will launch his follow-up attack and gain 2 stacks of gluttony. He can also gain 1 stack by using his skill, 1 for killing an enemy with his follow-up attack, and 2 for using his ultimate with a total cap of 12 gluttony. Gluttony itself does 2 things. The first is that each stack of gluttony provides Ashveil an additional 10% follow-up attack damage. The second use is that Ashveil can use his ultimate to cash in his gluttony stacks to perform enhanced follow-up attacks. To keep it short, every 4 gluttony stacks means he'll perform an additional follow-up attack after using his ultimate. So for the maximum damage, you'd want to use his ultimate at no less than 10 gluttony stacks, since you get the last 2 from his ultimate. This totals out to 3 additional follow-up attacks, 4 total if you include the one that automatically occurs after he uses his ultimate. Then, after using his ultimate, Ashveil will get 3 more charges and the cycle continues. Lastly, outside of the buffs that Ashveil provides, the other reason Ashveil really wants follow-up attack teammates is that every time an ally attacks the baited target, Ashveil gains 8 fixed energy, which is pretty necessary since his ultimate costs 150 energy, and it's also where most of his damage is going to be coming from. Okay, let's check back in and see what kind of relics we're working with. We actually got a couple of potential pieces here. We've got like 3 different double crit headpieces, a couple of double crit gloves, attack brutes with double crit. Not terrible. I would have loved to see a crit rate body with crit damage, and the planar set pieces honestly kinda suck. But it's all good. I do actually have a solid stockpile of self-modeling resin, so I'll just make myself an orb. Alright, okay, wait, double crit rate with speed is actually not bad, but we've still got the hard part, actually rolling the pieces. But I'm feeling pretty good though, so let's see how this pans out. Honestly, that was kinda disappointing. I don't think I got more than like 2 extra rolls into crit on any piece. Okay. So I think this is going to be the final build. The crit ratio is kind of whack, but keep in mind, Ashveil does give himself about 120% extra crit damage for those follow-up attacks. So I'm pretty sure running a crit rate body in my circumstance would let him be a lot more consistent, which is kind of more what I'm after here. Alright, we've got Ashveil. After some heartbreak, we've got his build. Let's talk some teams. The plan is to run him against Lygus from this current Memory of Chaos. Also, spoiler alert, this isn't really a zero cycle showcase. That's just not the kind of player I am, so if you clicked for that, I just wanted to give you the heads up. I really just want to see how Ashveil feels clearing with 3 stars with some different team loadouts. So first up, I'm pretty sure most of you have seen the Hypercarry Ashveil team comps, and although there's a lot of combinations to make that work, for my account, what I want to test is Ashveil, Remembrance MC, Tribby, and then Aventurine actually as the sustain. And yes, I know objectively Dan Heng is a better choice here, but someone, I don't know who, has been very lazy and doesn't have him built. So Aventurine is here by default. In terms of other teammate investments, my Tribby is E2S1, which obviously helps a lot, but Ashveil himself isn't very well built and is just rocking with Topaz's Light Cone, which is barely better than the free 5-star. Lastly, Aventurine is also E2S1. Don't ask, I really just wanted him to work with Acheron way back when, so he's not really packing too much heat. So my understanding here is that I really just want to get Ashveil's ult off as often as possible by having his teammates wail on the bait. This honestly doesn't feel too bad. It's been a minute since I played any kind of follow-up team, but I forgot how much I like seeing all the actions happening, even though the damage numbers are a little low. One thing I'm noticing from trying this team out, and it could totally be user error, but it feels a little tricky getting to 12 stacks consistently without action advances. 8 stacks are guaranteed from his 3 charges and ult, but assuming you're targeting the boss like I am, again, potentially user error, you need to get 4 skills off, which obviously isn't happening unless you've got an action advance support or dance. All in all though, that really didn't feel bad. It took me about 2 cycles, but it was a pretty comfortable clear considering it's one of my first times playing Ashveil. That being said, what I really wanted to play around with were some sub-DPS team setups. Feisha would be the obvious choice here, but you guessed it, don't actually have her. But it's all good because I actually wanted to test him out with my Yun Li. The team I landed on for this is Yun Li, Ashveil, Tribby, and Aventurine. The thought here is that Tribby can just be a general buffer, Ashveil provides his own damage as well as follow-up buffs for Yun Li, and Yun Li gives the enemies a big sword. And for full context, my Yun Li is E2S1. Something about little guy with big sword aesthetic really gets me, so she's one of my faves. And getting into things, I think the fact that the speed of this clear feels so similar to Ashveil Hypercarry says a lot about the state of follow-up in general. However, watching all of these follow-up attacks loop just brings a smile to my face. Objectively, yeah, this team is weaker than the Hypercarry Ashveil, but in terms of subjective enjoyment, I might have to give the cake to this team. Now, for this last run, I wanted to do something a little sillier. Way back when I used to main Clara, and you know who just pulled an E6 Clara. So I wanted to swap out Yun Li and try out a team of E6 Clara with Yun Li's Light Cone, Tribby, Ashveil, and Aventurine. And it kinda goes without saying, but the Yun Li variation was stronger, by far. But it is nice to see that despite not seeing the light of day for over a year, my Clara is on a team on pace to clear the Memory of Chaos. Now, Anomaly Arbitration is a whole different story, but I'll save that for the theory crafters and better gamers. Again, I just really wanted to give Ashveil a spin since the follow-up attack archetype is near and dear to my heart. As for Ashveil himself, I have a pretty strong suspicion that he's in a similar situation to Yaguang. His intended main DPS probably just isn't here yet. So if you're on the fence about him, I'd say just save your pulls and wait to see who's coming next. There really isn't a rush, especially if you don't have anyone to pair him with at the moment. With all of that being said, thanks so much for watching. I know this was a little different than some of the usual stuff, but I wanted to try something new, so I hope you still enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if there are any other characters, upcoming or otherwise, that you'd like to see a similar video for. Subscribe for more Honkai Star Rail videos, and most importantly, have a blessed day.